this land for over 10,000 years. Gunaklish to the Tlingit people for their stewardship of the Tlingit Ani since time immemorial and today. Thank you. All right, so we're going to be pretty quick here today with our business section of the meeting. Does anybody have announcements they need to make? Rotary announcements?
It's not a Rotary announcement.
You can make an Enzo. Make an announcement.
The school music program is selling Christmas flowers of some kind for $40 a pop. So I know it's pretty expensive, but it's for a good cause. And when they start selling, I'll bring the flyers and the spreadsheets for you guys.
Great.
If you guys want to buy it.
Thank you.
Is that poinsettia, the
Yeah.
flowers?
Yes, it is.
I bought 3. Can anybody beat that?
Already? We got the spreadsheets today.
Did you buy from Enzo? Did you buy?
Like 3 days ago.
But you didn't buy from Enzo then, right?
There was a long calendar already. What's that?
You didn't buy from Enzo, did you?
Show us the receipt.
Hey, he's too slow.
Show us the receipt.
I know, that could be fine-worthy.
Starting at number 1 here. Okay.
Are you finding people today?
Okay, no, we're not finding people today.
Reel them in, Sharon.
Okay, so just, John, did you have any announcements?
Prep for 2024 duck race is moving ahead. 3,013 numbers are already reserved, 145 business sponsors. Our number to hit by the end of December is 156, which is 80% of the 195 that we have, because that's what we run every year. And then we will grow it from there. So our number this year will be somewhere in the range of 225 business sponsors.
I'll make mention of it.
Okay.
You could just introduce her as a visiting Rotarian.
Okay. And so, yeah, normally we would first do visiting Rotarians, and I missed over that because we didn't talk about how we were going to introduce, but we do have a visiting Rotarian in the back row there. So we have Peggy Paulin, who is a former district governor, and now she is the wife of the current district governor. She was the wife then too, but.
He just wasn't paying attention.
Okay, so just a reminder, tonight we do have a board meeting at 5 o'clock for any board members and for every board member and for any members who want to come. That'll be 5 o'clock, and that's going to be out at Kari Lundgren's house, where we're also having a social after that, which is you guys should have all got the emails. I'm trying not to inundate you, but I know I did. So it is like a potluck for appetizer, dessert type foods. So feel free to bring something if you would like. And it's at the main house, not the cabin. So it's up the stairs the way we went last time. And if there's, email has her phone number on it if there's any issues. I know it's probably going to be dark by the time you guys are heading out there and it's hard to find it. But you can call her or call me and we'll get you there. Anyway, so we'll go with that for now for our announcements. And one more thing, sorry. The Kiva jar is going around. We're still working on it. Thank you, Dan. That's going around, and we can quietly maybe move along. Okay, so we're going to get started with our program now. And so first I am going to introduce the person I'm so grateful for taking over as assistant governor for the Southeast Clubs. She's going to come up here and share a few words on polio, and she's going to be introducing our speaker for today. So this is Michelle. Please welcome her.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I'm talking into this. Can you all hear me? I guess if we have people online, for sure.
Just hang it right there.
Just hang it.
Yeah, that's actually the microphone on the podium in front of you.
Tell me if that sounds good. So hi, I'm Michelle Strickler, and I am your assistant district governor. So that means if you have problems or things you're excited about that you want us to know, please reach out to me. Sharon would always know how to get a hold of me. And then I try to communicate with our amazing district governor, Mike, who I'm going to introduce in just a moment. Before I bring up Mike, who is the main event, well, Peggy's always the main event, but Mike is the main event today, because we love Peggy and Mike. I want to tell you about an opportunity that is near and dear to my heart and to our district. There's lots of opportunities to support foundation in our district, and one of them is the Polio Plus Society. And as most of you know, polio is one of our major focuses for Rotary worldwide. But did you know Polio Plus did some amazing work during COVID? Polio Plus took that same group of health professionals, service providers in countries throughout the world and approached the COVID crisis in a way that was really relevant to their local communities. So Polio Plus continues to be supported by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation with a 3-to-1 match. So it's a great opportunity to commit. I have some papers, and I'm going to stay afterwards. I have 4 pins. Everyone who joins will get a pin, but I have 4 that they advanced to me. And if you are a member of the Polio Plus Society, you commit personally $100 a year until polio is eradicated. I think it's an effort a lot of us are already participating in, but it's a way to make a vote with your dollars that this is a big commitment to me. So $100 a year, and there's lots of ways you can do that. So see me afterwards. And then we're going to move to the main event. So District Governor Mike Pollan joined Rotary Club of Fairbanks in 1999. He was club president in 2015. He was a District 5010 Group Study Exchange Committee member for 10 years and chaired it for 3 years. He loves group exchange. Led a group study exchange team to Taiwan in 2008. He has been the Northern Region AG from 2016 to 2019, typically a 3-year term. Other committees he served on include the Strategic Planning Committee, Visioning Committee, Excess Reserves Committee for our district from 2019 to 2022. And he's also been a Pacific Northwest PETS trainer. A wonderful opportunity to get some great training in district leadership. Mike and his wife, past District Governor Peggy, are both the Rotary Foundation major donors, Paul Harris Society members, and bequesters. And I think maybe Polio Plus Society members soon. They're charter members, and this is so interesting, of the Water and Sanitation Rotary Action Group, WashReg, and have completed 2 Rotary Foundation global grant projects, those are big, through the Rotary Club of Fairbanks, building water and sanitation facilities for schools in Belize. I can tell you that Mike is a great example of using your vocation to further the ideals of service through Rotary. He's done that well. Mike has presented on water and sanitation issues at WashReg meetings internationally, at District 501 conferences, and at the Rotary Zone Institutes as an invited speaker. He's kind of big stuff, but this is kind of the fun part about Mike. He's a true Rotarian, a spin master of balancing family ties and Rotary commitments, with a knack for keeping both his family and Rotary wheels turning smoothly. Mike's dedication is nothing short of Rotary perfection. His ability to rotate between his roles as a committed family member and an enthusiastic Rotarian showcases this man's talent for maintaining a harmonious rhythm in life. So whether he's spinning family stories or turning Rotary projects into success, Rotarian Mike Pollan is a shining example of how to keep life's Rotary gears in perfect sync. Please help me welcome District Governor Mike Pollan.
Never cease to amaze me, Michelle. Thank you.
Okay, we got a
Okay,
little
so
microphone.
flip this guy
Maybe
on.
clip it right
Yep,
here.
I got it. All right, now comes the tricky part. How do I start the, Sharon, do you know how to start the program here? Oh, aha,
Share the screen though, so I'm just trying to get on.
got it.
Did you share it though?
No, I don't know that I did. So do I need to exit out of here? Whoop. We're not usually this disorganized. It's usually much worse.
It's a Monday.
I'm gonna try to, yeah. Which one of these do I turn down?
Do it, Jess.
We're just trying to escape out of this so we can do
The better?
the end show.
Don't turn it off up front.
You want it just in the front.
There.
There you go.
And then walk out the door.
There you go.
Think. Try to be of service.
And then I think we just have to click on this.
You're hearing that part.
Nice, okay.
These are fire today.
Greetings, everybody. I'm more than pleased to be here for a couple of reasons. Now, Michelle, thank you very much. I appreciate the lovely comments as you were reading my Rotary resume, but I have another part of my resume I know some of you know, but I'm going to share with everybody that's here. I grew up here. This was my home. My father brought my brother and my mother and I to Sitka on a 28-foot wooden trawler from Tacoma, Washington, with nothing but a compass, a map, and dead reckoning in 1951. I'll let you do the math. So I was 6 months old. I graduated from Sitka High School, class of '68, went to the University of Alaska Fairbanks, and that's where I met my lovely wife, who was from Kodiak. So a couple of sea dogs, and we ended up becoming landlubbers up in Fairbanks. I think what got us is we could get in a car and drive more than 14.1 miles. That was really exciting. So anyway, all of that said, but every time I come to Sitka, the memories just well up. This is in my heart is my hometown, and always will be. So to my friends and Rotary family in Sitka, it's good to be home with you. So what I want to share with you is a little bit about what's happening in your district. Now, I usually get out and parade around, but I guess I'm talking into the microphone here, so I'm going to podium here for a little bit. But what I want to share with you is some information about your district. And more specifics here in a moment. But first, what I want to do is, this is the Rotary International Event of the Year. And what this event is each year, the Rotary International Organization brings all 550 district governors-elect from the entire Rotary universe to Orlando, Florida for 1 week. And they train us how to do what we're going to do as district governor. And in the process, we literally are meeting with the entire staff of Rotary International, all of the directors of the organization, the entire officers line, all of the trustees of the Rotary Foundation, and about a cadre of maybe 60 or so district governors who are skilled trainers they bring in from all over the world, and they spend a week learning how to train us before we even get there. So this is the biggest training event in the world in Rotary, and I was privileged to be there. And one of the things you do is you get your official photo taken. So here's the official photo. And I think Peggy and I were the last three, or third from the last of all the district governor-elects that went up. And as we're approaching R. Gordon R. McAnally, then Rotary International president-elect, I walked up to him and took his hand. And I said, "I'll bet your arm's about to fall off." And he looked at me and went clunk. But what a remarkable person. When you speak with Gordon McAnally, he doesn't speak at you, he speaks into you. He looks in your eyes and he becomes so focused on you. And it's a powerful quality in a person to be able to do that, to literally connect with you one-on-one at that moment. But he has that ability. Now, Gordon is accompanied by his wife, Heather. Heather is a professional opera singer. And at the Melbourne let me pronounce it correctly here, Australia, Melbourne conference, international conference. At the closing ceremony, this lady gets on the stage unaccompanied, solo, in front of 10,000 people and sang John Lennon's Imagine. Brought the place down. Beautiful. She's got a great sense of humor. She needs that hanging around this guy too. Gordon presented his basic theme for the year, creating hope in the world. Now he has a very compelling reason why he chose that. I'm not going to share that with you. What I would encourage you to do is take a look at the July Rotarian magazine. And that magazine, basically, he expresses where he came up with this theme. He also talks about his other major objectives. Empowering women and girls throughout the world, which is a major theme of his. And then again, another very compelling one, demystifying mental health. And it's interesting, again, he has a personal situation that occurred in his family that brought him to bring this forward to Rotary. And it's interesting, as I've heard from many of my colleagues around the world, the current district governors, many of the districts have picked this up as a major theme of the year. And some of our Rotary clubs in our district have. And given the incredibly high suicide rate we have in Alaska, FASD, fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, these are areas that are in this theme. And this really is resonating with some of our Rotarians here in Alaska. Don't be terribly shocked if a few years forward, this becomes the 8th area of focus of Rotary. It's amazing. So what I want to do is just talk to you a little bit about who we are. A lot of people don't know or don't recall all the history of our district. Our district began first as part of a district based in Seattle. And as we grew, more clubs were added on in Alaska. We were emboldened to become our own district. And not terribly long after that, they added on Yukon, and there were 3 clubs in the Whitehorse area. And then they added Siberia. And at the peak of that, we were the largest Rotary district in the world geographically. We had 10.5% of the surface of the earth above sea level. We had 11 time zones, 3 national languages, and you had to have a visa to get from one end to the other. Our district governors would literally travel to Siberia through Seoul, Korea, and spend 3 months earning airline miles on Aeroflot. Trust me, they're not Alaska Airlines. You don't want those airline miles. And the Trans-Siberian Railroad. Quite an exercise. And I honestly, I don't know how they did that. But there were 40 clubs in Russia. There were 40 clubs in North America. That's 80 clubs. That's a huge district. So later on, the Siberian group got large enough, functional enough on their own. They were spun off by Rotary as a separate district. And then during the COVID era, the 2 remaining clubs that were left in Whitehorse ended up joining a district in Calgary, in Alberta. And they chose to do that partly because, you probably remember, you couldn't get across the border with Canada unless you had an act of Congress and an act of Parliament. The exchange rate kind of went south. So they opted to do that. Cool thing, 25% of the Whitehorse Rotarians immediately joined the District 5010E Club because they wanted to stay in our district. And to this day, we still have a whole lot of people from Whitehorse that are members of our district by choice with our E Club. So that's what's going on. Now what I want to do is, I want to talk to you Rotarians. Every one of you is in Rotary because you have chosen this organization to express your desire to serve your community, to serve the world, and do what we do in Rotary. The passion that you bring, the time, treasure, and talent they refer to it as, that you offer to Rotary, has a purpose in your life. And what I want to do is I want to share with you how the resources of our district and Rotary International can enhance that. Make it better for you, make you more effective, and make everything you do more impactful. So let's proceed. The first thing I want to tell you is that you have a wonderful leadership team in this district. Of course, we're all of Alaska, and I'm going to introduce you to our leadership team, but we definitely spend a lot of energy coordinating in what we call the DG line. That's the district governor, the district governor-elect, the district governor nominee, and then our immediate past district governor. And we talk about what's happening in the district, and we plan together, we look forward together, and we do that because we want continuity. And that's a very key part of this. I'm going to introduce you to these people in a minute, but as you can see, we do have actual team building activities. This one was on the North Slope. So anyway, this is my district governor team of muskox. Okay, so here is your team, and I wanted to show you, excuse me, my new favorite photo. This was the final banquet black tie event at the International Assembly. So while we're down there, I had an opportunity to try my tux on, which I hadn't tried for 3 years. Peggy, thank you for the Whole Foods diet. It fit. I couldn't believe it. It was like, yes! And so we're wandering down the hallway and took the opportunity to get a picture taken. But so that's yours truly, and Peggy and I. And I'll tell you what, it has been a pleasure having a past district governor to counsel and calm me at moments in time as I've needed this. So moving right along, your district governor-elect is Brenda Sheldon. Now Brenda's from Palmer. Rotary Club of Palmer is her home club. And talk about a smart, talented person. The Pacific Northwest Pets, the President-elect Training Seminar, that's where your President-elect goes to basically get tuned up for the coming year. The Pacific Northwest Pets is the largest pets in the Rotary universe. 10 different districts from Western Canada, Pacific Northwest, Alaska, we get together and we will train up to 650 presidents-elect. And at the event called Blue Denim in February, they elect the upcoming board of directors for the next year. So the 10 district governors-elect get together and they pick a chairman of the board, and that person takes office, gospel, on April 1st, April Fool's Day, that year. So it goes from April 1st to the March 31st of the following year. So the 10 district governors-elect disappeared in a room, came out 10 minutes later, and Brenda Sheldon is the chairman of the board. Guess who the treasurer of this just shy of $1 million event is? Peggy Pollen, 3-year term. And guess who runs the whole thing? Diane Fegis, past district governor from Anchorage. 3 Alaskan women are running the biggest pets show in Rotary on the planet.
Yeah, they are.
I'll tell you what, talk about empowering women. Guys, I hope the women empower us someday. They are, this is the level of talent and leadership you have in this district. And I'm here to tell you, you people are well served. Marty Mativa, he's the district governor nominee. Marty's wife, Cheryl, of course, was district governor a couple of years ago. And Marty is in the Susitna Club, and we just visited the Susitna Club this last week. What a great bunch of people. Marty is pure energy. Love to watch this guy at the podium. They just did a huge foundation event up there. And absolutely just knocked it out of the ballpark. But anyway, Marty's going to be a great leader. It'll be fun to watch what he does. But as I said, we work together. Now this was in Kodiak, which was the last district conference. We were pleased that 167 Rotarians actually made it to Kodiak. It was not the easiest venue on the planet to get to, but we actually took every room in the place. I think if anybody else would have showed up, they better bring a tent and a cot and be ready to sleep on the beach, because we took everything you could pay for room for the place. But here is Marty and Brenda and I, and we took that time to get together, talk about the future of the district, plan forward, select some key positions that were going to be multi-year positions. So that's what we do. Mike Ferris is your immediate past district governor. He remains a member of the board of directors, and he's got a couple of other critical roles, and this is him and his wife Shannon. And now what I want to do is I want to introduce you to the assistant governor line. Now the AGs, of course you just heard from Michelle here, the assistant governors have a very important role in the district, and this one of the things that we have sought to do, and the whole DG line is doing this, is we are increasing the involvement and activity level of the assistant governors. They are your first point of contact. When your president has a question about Rotary, when they need to access something, a committee member or beyond, to the zone level, to the RI level, Sharon used to be in this position, Michelle is now. Michelle is your point of contact. And the AGs are just doing a great job this year. I'm so happy with that. But this is the assistant governor for the northern region. This is Gretchen Gordon. She runs the KUAC public radio and television station at the University of Alaska. And she takes care of 8 clubs, 5 in Fairbanks, Nome, Barrow, and the E Club. Bruce Erickson, he is the AG for Anchorage. He's new to that position, and he takes care of 9 Rotary clubs, which includes Girdwood. And this is his wife, Becky. Now, Michelle just talked about the Polio Plus Society. Becky is actually the one that brought the Polio Plus Society to our district a couple of years ago. And as Michelle said, you can sign up for this if you agree to donate $100 a year until the polio is eradicated. Then you can become a member of the Polio Plus Society. She has recruited about 80 people, and we're shooting to try to get 100 before the end of the year. So that's a pretty important thing. Jess Gutzweiler is the AG for the Kenai Peninsula, which includes the Kenai, Soldotna, Homer, Seward, and the 2 Kodiak clubs. So that's her region. And then Michelle, of course, she takes care of all the clubs, the 8 clubs between Ketchikan and Juneau. And Michelle, you're doing a great job this year. Bless your heart. Thank you so much for all you do. And then, there you go, round of applause. And Matt Steelstra, who's a professional engineer from Matsu, and he takes care of the 5 clubs in that area. So this is your AG team. And we get together once a month, and we have about an hour-long meeting online, and we talk about what's happening, planning these meetings, other events that are going on, and so forth. So your AGs are plugged in. That's your main point of contact. Okay, the treasurer. You should know that your district is incredibly well managed and is in great financial condition. And a large part of the reason for that is we have had a cadre of excellent treasurers. George LG completed his 3-year term at the end of last year, and about 2 months before it was over, he called me up and he said, Mike, I have something that I want to finish, and I would like another year to do it. And what he's doing is he's bringing all of the financial systems of our district in one transparent, accountable format. We have a budget for the main Rotary district. We have one for RILA. We have one for the district conference. And we have a very large one for Youth Exchange, which cash-wise is actually the biggest one of all. And you put all these together, and they each have their own committee, their own treasurer, their own financial management, their own bank accounts and checking accounts. And it was like, holy mackerel. So George brought all this together under one concise managed system. He was about halfway through that when he called me up and says, can I stay on another year? And I went, gee, George, that's an easy question to answer. You got a great treasurer, he wants to stay on another year. That was an easy sell. So, of course, I talked to Brenda and Marty about that, and they said, thumbs up, let's do it. So George is finishing that up, and he's doing a great job. And of course, he's over here in the Glacier Valley Rotary. Your district secretary, Paul Pasley, new to the job. The district secretary is a very important position. You are one of 5 people that are on the board of directors of the district. So we are actually a corporation, and the 5 directors include the treasurer, the secretary, the immediate past district governor, the current district governor, and the district governor-elect. And they are the ones that actually direct the major operations of the district. And anyway, Paul, an announcement just came out, was just selected to be the district governor nominee designate, and there you have a 2-week period where the club presidents have an option to comment on that before the decision is final. So we'll see how all this unfolds. Your lieutenant governor, we have a lieutenant governor, and it's Brenda Hewitt. Brenda is based in the Susitna Rotary Club, again in Matsu. And behind the scenes, there's a whole bunch of stuff that has to be done. Managing schedules, organizing committees, taking care of a lot of detail. This is what Brenda does, and she does this well enough that it makes my life workable. And it really is a critical part of this. Brenda has agreed to stay on. She will be Brenda Sheldon's lieutenant governor, so you can have the Brenda show. Yeah. Good luck figuring out the emails on that one. But at the end of the day, this is going to be another powerhouse team for Rotary. And the only actual paid position we have in the district is called our executive secretary, and this is Janine Becca. And Janine is with the Rotary Club of Anchorage International. And she is a meticulous, organized, detailed person, and she keeps us on track with all the schedules, the reporting we have to do to RI. She actually runs the, in the background, the finance committee, board of directors meetings, all the key district-wide committee meetings, and this lady keeps us from missing a beat. I'm here to tell you, she makes our district better. And she actually does this for several of the Rotary clubs in Anchorage, and every one of those Rotary clubs benefit from her knowledge and her excellence. The District 5010 committees. Okay, again, one of my objectives here is I want to share with you how you as a Rotarian can access the tools at the district to make what you do more effective. And you have committees for anything that you have a passion for, anything that is a major piece of why you are a Rotarian. There's a committee that can help you and make what you do more enjoyable and more effective. And I want to share a couple of these with you. Now, one of the things that happened during COVID is, everybody knows, we quit meeting in person for the most part. You guys stopped pretty much completely. At the end of the day, people then finally started coming back. But not only just the clubs, every organization in the world went through this. But our committees also kind of went wimpy, they went quiet. So there was this kind of a stasis thing, and we started coming out of that. And one of the things that we worked very, very hard on doing this last year, before my year began, was to restaff all of these committees. Find chairs for them. We still got a couple of openings, but we filled out over 90% of them. They are looking for Rotarians from the clubs that are interested in working at the district level on the committees. If you have an interest in this, talk to Michelle. She will get you plugged into the right committee. Your efforts and your time and so forth is greatly appreciated. It enhances your Rotary experience as well. So you will learn things, you will collaborate with people that are just very cool. I want to share with you a couple of the committees. Youth Exchange. Okay, so, and again, our Youth Exchange student from Brazil, and I said hello to him this morning, bom dia. Bottom line is this program shut completely down during COVID, and then last year we actually allowed more inbounds than outbounds for the first time in history, just to kind of reboot the program. This year we have a match, and it's twice as big, and a lot of that has to do with the handiwork of Chris and Jamie Letterman. They're from Juneau, and the previous chair of this, Jeff Johnson, had been doing this for about 7 or 8 years. And as we were coming out of COVID, he was trying to reorganize the committee, and he says, you know, it's time to pass the leadership on. He actually recommended Chris and Jamie. Interestingly enough, the entire DG line had already thought those would be good choices if that event came about. And we reached out to them, and they are just knocking it out of the ballpark. So Chris and Jamie are doing a great job kind of regrouping the whole YE program, re-energizing it, getting their district-wide team in play. And right now, they're actively doing the recruiting for outbound. They're reporting there's some challenges trying to get current high school students to apply for the outbound positions. So we're really trying to encourage the clubs to reach out to your local high schools and see if you can get people that are interested in this, because we want to grow this back to what it was pre-COVID. We have a committee called Growth and Learning. This is the committee that helps to train club officers and other people in the various roles of the district. During the district assembly and during the PETS program, pre-PETS program, we do training for presidents-elect. We do training for the club treasurers that are going to be entering that position the following year, club secretaries. And then Gail Nepper and her team went out and actually did an online version for the people that couldn't make it to the district assembly in Kodiak. Did a great job, and I think by the time they were done, they had about 80% of all of the club treasurers and secretaries from our 36 Rotary clubs that actually got trained in what they do and how their positions unfold. The foundation chair, Peggy, has actually assumed that role. As you can see, when you're a past district governor, you keep forgetting to say no. But anyway, so she's the foundation chair, took it over from Diane Fegis. And there's an announcement going around now for a district-wide foundation event that will be happening in December. Take a look at that. The grants committee, Paul Pasley, district, and Joe Cashai is the global grants part of our district grants program. Paul's stepping out of this. This is his last year, and we're going to be appointing a new person to shadow him through the end of the year. Talked about Becky with the Polio Plus. Your membership is Lori Draper from Seward. Public Image, Michelle O'Brien and Rosie Ropel from Ketchikan. And then we have a visioning committee, and it was just, what was that, 3 years ago or 2 years ago? Brenda Hewitt, Peggy, and I came to your club, and we did a visioning session at the Stone
Lantern House.
Stone Lantern House. What a neat place that was. And so your group, your club, benefited from a visioning program. That was great. We had a wonderful time helping to facilitate that. But we are hoping that more of the Rotary clubs in the district take advantage of what your club has done and uses that as a resource to focus and grow and move forward into the future. And toward that end, our district put some extra money in for travel for the facilitators to be able to do that. And then we have, and that's Bill Wright, who is in Peggy's and my Rotary Club in Fairbanks. And then his wife, Cindy, another Rotary power couple, by the way, District Conference Committee Chair. And I'll tell you more about that here in a bit. Tools and systems. Okay, there's some things you can access, either through the Growth and Learning Committee or on your own. What I would like you to do, if you don't have a My Rotary account, you should start one. Just go to the Rotary International website, and you, as a Rotarian, can open up a My Rotary account. And what that account allows you to do is you basically unlock the whole bank vault of Rotary, and all the tools and all the systems are all there for you. You would be amazed at what is there. And one of the really powerful pieces of this is called the Learning Center. Now, the Learning Center became the mechanism how Rotary trained people during COVID. Up to that point in time, they had these online little training modules and so forth. And quite frankly, like a lot of these online modules, they were kind of marginal, not that well attended, I guess. Try to be diplomatic here. But during COVID, they tuned this up. They took all of these modules and they made them professional. They made them interactive, just loaded with information. Whatever your passion is, whatever your role in your club is, whatever your interest is in Rotary, there is a training module that between 60 and 90 minutes later, after you access that, you will double or triple what you know about that job. It'll tell you what to do. It gives you access to the contacts in Rotary, the information you need. Literally, it has all the downloadable information you have to have, forms and documents and whatever else. It's all right there. And it's available, all of you. You can access that. Now, for anybody that's going to become a leader, including president-elects and the club presidents, you can go there, and there's a whole series of these modules that help you do that job better. To become district governor, I had to take nearly 40 of these over a period of 3 years. It sounds like a lot, but they are so well organized, they're so well put together that it was actually, I looked forward to it. I was able to really understand a whole lot more about what is this role, what is this district governor thing all about. So the Learning Center is very powerful. Another tool we have coming on our line right now is called DACDB. And I know I had the same question, many of you probably have. What in the heck does that mean? District and Club Database. This is a new system that basically replaces Club Runner. More powerful, faster, more complete, more interactive, and for most clubs actually is less expensive unless you buy their financial package and their district newsletter package. It's free. The district bought the big package, and the clubs get that package for free. But anyway, this is something that's happening, and Peggy has been working closely with DACDB. If you have questions about this program, if you want some information on it, she will be able to answer those for you while we're here. There you go. It's happening right now. I love it.
She said, "Come here, sit down."
I'll rest my case, buddy. But that's it. This is a really cool deal. Yeah, Peggy.
You forgot to mention the inter-club goals in the RCC, and that's kind of...
Oh, thank you for mentioning that. So the Rotary Club Central, what the clubs need to do, the current club officers, you enter your goals for your club. What do you expect your foundation contributions to be? Hopefully membership growth and retention. Number of service projects, hours of service, and so forth. So there's, these are basically just, that's what they are, they're goals. So these are targets you're setting. And as your club accomplishes those goals, then the officers go back in and you say, okay, well, we did this one, this is the amount of money we raised for our foundation event, these are the number of service hours we've done for projects. And when you meet enough of those goals, your club then becomes qualified for what's called the Presidential Citation. And that is an award that is given at the district conference. So that's the vehicle, that's the pathway. And if you don't enter the goals and you don't go in and re-enter your accomplishments, then the Presidential Citation is just a fading dream in the distance. So you need to do that. That's a big part of it. Now, I'm really encouraging all of the clubs to access the resources you have with district grants. During COVID, donations to the foundation and specifically to what's called the annual fund declined. This happened globally. This happened to, again, all organizations. People just, they kind of crawled into their, into their homes and just sort of stayed away from things and disconnected. And when we finally started emerging again, we had this gap that was left behind us that affected what we now have coming in as what's called district designated funds. The way this works is when a donation is made to the Rotary Foundation Annual Fund, 3 years later, half of that comes back to our district as DDF, District Designated Funds. That funds our global grant contributions that we make from the district and, very importantly, our district grants. Up to that point in time, typically $80,000 to maybe $90,000 is what we had for district grants. And we took a look at what was happening, and I brought this from the Excess Reserves Committee. And again, you have a very fiscally well-managed district here. I brought before the Finance Committee, Mike Ferris's year, immediate past district governor, would have had maybe $70,000 in global grants. In my year, it would be like 59. Brenda Sheldon's year, just barely 80 is about all that would be available. And what I recommended to the Finance Committee, and they approved, is I said, this is critical. We're going to take clubs that are literally kind of wobbly coming back out of COVID. They're trying to get back on the ground. They've raised a couple of $1,000s. And if they could get a district grant and double that, they're going to not only double the community impact, they're going to triple the fund. It's going to be a much bigger event, and it's going to help their club grow back again, because this is what we do as Rotarians. And I said, this is vital to the reemergence of our clubs in the district. They approved an additional $30,000 in Mike Ferris's year, an additional $40,000 this year, an additional $20,000 next year. So we have $100,000 a year right through the COVID era of district grant monies that are available. And all the checks have been written this year. 100% of that was subscribed, and the clubs are out doing those projects. And I'm really encouraging the clubs take advantage of that, because by golly, we're putting fuel in the tank. Step on the gas pedal and get her done. So this is something that your Finance Committee and the Excess Reserves did for the district. So it's there. The bottom line is we also are able to fund some district-wide projects. Many of you may recall we had this emergency water system project. This was 2 years ago, actually, and that one was successfully completed. We took $25,000 out of the excess reserves and leveraged that into a $357,000 project that was completed in 18 months. There are 4 of these rapidly deployable emergency water systems, one in Nome, one in Bethel, one in Fairbanks with Tenant Chiefs Conference, and the other one at the Alcantara Armory that's in the purview of the Alaska State Defense Force. And we got ASDF, the Alaska State Defense Force, will deploy these using, while we were using these little Hughes 500 helicopters, they said, we've got Chinooks and Blackhawks, man. We can take these dudes anywhere in 24 hours. They will deploy these anywhere in Alaska in 24 hours in an emergency. And you have 7,000 gallons per day of potable water at the tap. So this was built by your district. But again, we leveraged money from other groups, including $177,000 from the Denali Commission for this. So this is your district. I mean, we're doing this stuff. Michelle, thank you again for bringing up the Polio Plus Society. This was at the International Assembly, and they had the polio eradication display there. I had never actually walked up to an iron lung before. And when I walked up to it, I was kind of stunned how small it was. Then I realized that's a toddler in there. That's not a full-grown, like a teenager or something. It was the very young that were impacted by this, and that's where they would spend maybe the last, hopefully, year of their life. All this thing is artificially pumping oxygen into their failing lungs. This doesn't happen anymore. In the time from 1985 to today, we estimate we have prevented 20 million children from this fate. There were 3 strains of polio when we started. There is 1 left. Type 2 and type 3 have been declared extinct by the World Health Organization. The type 1 strain now, we've refocused the vaccine. It's much more effective. And some of the other, what they call vaccine-derived polio, these mutant strains that would twist out of the old vaccines, that's gone. They've reformulated this, and it's much more potent. So far this year, we've had 6 cases of polio, 4 in Afghanistan and 2 in Pakistan, and that number has now held for 3 months. And we're watching the clock tick to the end of the year. If it finally finishes, this will be the lowest number of wild polio, type 1 polio virus cases that's ever occurred. So we are very optimistic this is going to happen. The Pakistani government has stepped in to improve the vaccination program, and in a remarkable event, Rotary International negotiated with the Taliban in Afghanistan to quit killing the vaccinators and protect them instead, and they are. That's Rotary. We are definitely on the march to expand youth programs. We have 2 inactive Rotaract clubs in the district right now. This is the 18 to 30-year-old range, 1 in Juneau, 1 in Matsu, and we're going to try and bring life back into those clubs and into the Rotaract program, because we really want to bring the youth programs back up. Remarkably, we actually have 4 active Interact clubs. 2 in Juneau, we have 2 in Anchorage now. We just chartered another one here a couple of months ago. The bottom line is this is a huge area that's important to me, it's important to the district, and we are going to put some real effort to that in the district conference. One of our keynote speakers is a global organizer of Rotaract, a young lady by the name of Taylor Huey, who was actually a featured keynote speaker at International Assembly and at the Zone Institute in Toronto. And Peggy and I recruited her to come to Fairbanks, Alaska. Had you ever been to Alaska, Taylor? Nope. Would you like to come? Yep. Okay. We got a job for you. Come on up and talk to us about Rotaract. But she's going to do breakout sessions, and we're gonna work with this. So we've got some pretty cool stuff. We also have a whole bunch of new club formats. Of course, you're familiar probably with the satellite club concept, but there's impact clubs, what they call companion clubs. And these are clubs that have totally different models. Impact clubs have no meetings. This is for like young couples with kids. They're both working. They can't do what you're doing right now, walk away from work and do that. And in the evening, if they could do an evening, no, they're home taking care of the kids. So they do projects, and they're family-friendly projects, and they bring their kids. And this particular model of club style has just taken off like a rocket. Interestingly enough, the kind of the global organizer of this, a guy by the name of Patrick Longano, who's also one of the partners in the DAC-DB program, is also an invited keynote speaker to our district conference in Fairbanks, and he's going to talk about the impact clubs. Patrick has personally chartered 167 impact clubs in the southeastern United States, almost single-handedly reversing the decline in Rotary membership in that part of North America. You are going to be blown away if you come to the conference and listen what these clubs can do. It's just amazing. And Rotary has never been so open to new club models. Gordon McAnally himself told me, he says, hey Mike, if you got an idea for a type of a Rotary club and you want to try it out, don't ask for permission. Ask for forgiveness later on if it doesn't work. In fact, don't even mess with that. Just forget about it, and if the model works, we'll probably put it in the charter of Rotary. Just go get her done. That's what we're doing now. They are absolutely open to anything that works. I've never seen Rotary more open about this than they are right now. Quick event calendar. These are some things that are coming up. We'll have what's called district team training. This is the first Saturday in February. It's just a couple 3-hour online thing. You will get a tune-up from all of the major committees of the district. Brenda Sheldon, the district governor-elect, this is one of her programs. You'll hear from the leadership team, an opportunity to ask some questions and see what's going on. The Pacific Northwest Pets, I've already mentioned. This will be in Seattle in February. And the pre-Pets, which is the the presidents-elect from our district meet in advance of the full-blown PETS program. And that'll be taking place there. RILA this year will be in Fairbanks. And then the District Assembly and Conference again in Fairbanks in May. The 16th is going to be the District Assembly, and this is where your club treasurer-elect, secretary-elect, PE should come to this. You're all welcome to come to this. It's going to be a wonderful event. And then we have the district conference itself planned. I'll share more on that with you in just a moment. The Rotary International Convention this year will be in Singapore. And this is actually a really cool place. It's kind of like a city-state. It's one of the most advanced industrial economies in the world. And pretty amazing. And they got a powerful Rotary group that's there. But this will be pretty cool. So this is where the district conference is going to be. It's going to be in the Westmark Hotel in Fairbanks. Peggy recently got this tuned up on the website. Registrations are rolling in. We've blocked 125 rooms at the conference hotel. This is a Holland America Princess Hotel. They want those rooms back, and so they guarantee them only through the end of this year. Some may carry over, but they want to fill them with their tours full of people that will be coming in on the train and the buses and airplanes through Fairbanks. So the conference will be there. There's a lot of other hotels nearby, but if you want to be in this hotel, you need to book that fairly early if you can. We plan some wonderful events. The District Assembly that evening, we have rented out the Antique Auto Museum. I don't know if there's any antique auto fans in the group or if any of you know about this, but the Antique Auto Museum in Fairbanks, Alaska is rated as one of the top 10 antique auto museums in the world. And we have it for the entire evening. And we are going to bus you there from the Westmark to that event. You can actually put on your period, your coats and the cool hats, and they'll take a picture of you in like the Model T, in sepia or black and white, so it looks like a 1918 photo or something like that. Pretty cool stuff. But anyway, so we've got a big conference that's planned. The last thing I want to share with you is priorities. And Michelle, thank you about the year example and the priorities. As I embarked on this journey, I had to sit down and think about what will happen if I go through and I don't have a focus and a clear alignment of what my priorities are. And I thought it'd be a disaster. So the first thing I thought about is family is the core. Whatever is going on in your family, that has to be working or everything else just falls apart. You know this. If you have an ailing parent, if you've got a sick kid, if something's happening to you, that comes first. You have to deal with that. Then it's your work and your recreation and your passion of things that you do that make you, that keep you alive. I frequently ask people about their, what their work is, and the question I ask them is, what do you do to support your Rotary habit? So you have to have a job in order to do that, or be retired and have still an income stream. And that's number 2, and then Rotary is 3. I can't tell you how many times last year when I was filling the committees out, I would call somebody up and ask them, man, you would be perfect for this committee. But keep in mind, it's a 3-year commitment, everything. And they say, Mike, I just got a promotion. I'm now the vice president of my organization. My boss is expecting me to be there, and I got to get to work and do this stuff. But I'll be back next year. I'm the last person in the world you have to explain that to. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's how I want to create hope in the world together. Sorry, I ran long in the tooth. That's very rare for me. Okay, we're down to the 3-way test. Back to you, Sharon.
We have questions.
Oh, sure. I'd be happy to answer a question. What
Does
you
anyone
got?
have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you everybody for joining. Remember tonight, 5 o'clock if you're on the board for the board meeting at Kari's, 6 o'clock for the fellowship. Please come, it'll be fun. And then next week, we have my daughter, Brianna Bergman, and she will be doing the PowerPoint on her cubing competition that we went up to in Anchorage last weekend. So hopefully you guys can join us for that. And we'll see you then, hopefully see you tonight. Otherwise, have a good week.
All right.